Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Passionate People and Preposterous Peeves. I am your host, Ike, and before I get too more bassy, I don't know what's going on with my voice this morning, I'd like to just take a moment and say thanks for being here and giving this pod a listen. It means a lot to me that you chose to use your precious time and give me and my guest your ears. Now, if after all this awesomeness, you still have the wherewithal, it'd be really cool if you share this with someone who you think would like it, or just subscribe yourself if you already haven't. That'd mean a lot. Or you can always hit me up on Twitter at LikeIkes. Or you can always email me at passionandpeevespodcast@gmail.com. So this is going to be another quick one as I am dashing out the door. In 20 minutes, I am having my friend Kyler give me a ride to the LAX airport and then fly to Reno, where I'm going to spend the weekend with mom, dad, bro, and aunts, uncles, and some cousins. It's going to be rad. In talking with my brother on my other podcast, Super Pros Bros, we realized we have not been up to this cabin. He, I, my mother, and my father have not been up to this cabin in over a decade. So this is going to be like really wild. Other than that, since last week, what has happened? I think started finally having to pay my student loans back. It's not been fun, but wasn't as difficult or as bewildering a price point as I was worried about, so that's always nice. Other than that, I'm nearly finished with Atomic Habits, I guess. It's the book that myself and Theo Jung talked about the other week. It's really great. It continues to improve my life. I would highly recommend it. It's a really easy read. I find it kind of pleasant. There's a lot of fun facts in there, which for me are great, and it has a lot of easy to implement ideas. As far as life changing ideas go, I guess they're still technically difficult, but like for what they're doing, for their rate of life improvement, they are pretty like low rent in that regard. Other than that, I bought a hat. I don't know. There's not like that much going on with me. I was a lot of fun doing something I normally didn't do. I was just up last night editing a video for our third podcast, or my third podcast, rather. Split Second Sorcerers, which is a magic-based podcast. Really quick, kind of 10-minute fun video. If that's what you're into, I'd recommend you check us out. We are only currently on YouTube. But I was playing around with the video I just uploaded with past guests on here and past guests now on there of Bosch and Roll, aka Brian Koval, and it was just I had fun with it. I did some imagery ads and stuff like that. It was a blast. It was kind of fun. I was just messing around editing, which is something I don't think I even really did that in college. So that was a lot of fun. Just take enjoyment in doing the kind of background biz. I had a really tough conversation with a friend of mine, Eric Virgo. Eric, if you're listening to this, thank you very much. Had a very hard conversation, and as I'm just the most duck of a person and let everything roll off my back, aggression wasn't raised or anything. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But it was a good conversation to have, and I really appreciate having great friends that are willing to have it, willing to let me blow my stack a little bit in understandable circumstances and not judge me for it, but just be there through it. And so thank you very much, Eric. I appreciate you. And all my other friends that have been there for me when my invigoration gets the best of me. Probably. Maybe that's a weird way to put it, but I hope you guys know what I mean. So this week on the podcast is a friend of a friend, and MAXX KOMINOWSKI. Thank you very much, Ivan Espinoza, for introducing him. The kind of funny flip of this is he's also the roommate of very recent guest Theo Jung, and I didn't know that until like either most of the way through the episode or afterwards. I think it was wild. I was like, wait a second, what? Really small world. anyone which way, please enjoy the podcast with MAXX KOMINOWSKI. Take it away past me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today on the pod, he won a tournament without winning a game in the elimination rounds, was voted the best bookkeeper of 2019's University High School, and has the voice of a karaoke angel. It's MAXX KOMINOWSKI!
How's it going?
It is going so good, but something else that might be going so good would be if you found yourself in the circumstance where you could take part in a WWF-styled event. In such a circumstance, what do you think you'd want your walkout song to be?
My walkout song would have to be Runaway by Galantis. And I have a pretty crazy story about that song. So my freshman year of college, as many young men find themselves, looking for friends, I rushed a fraternity, and one of our rituals was whenever they kept us, they would keep us in the house in the basement and make us do a bunch of different tasks. From like, we had to use Gatorade bottle caps and take water from the basement up to the third floor to fill like an office cooler, and then halfway through the night, like 2 hours in, they just dumped the whole cooler, made us start over. By
accident, of course.
Oh yeah, by accident, totally. Oh yeah, one of the brothers just tripped and knocked it over. But the kicker was they would have their full, party sound system blasting "Runaway" by Galantis. So I know that song like the back of my hand. I've listened to it. I think maybe when Spotify sends those messages like you're a top listener, I'm definitely a top listener of that song. I've listened to it probably like 1,000 times at this point. And then I dropped out of the fraternity after that.
Hey, you got one thing out of the fraternity at least.
But yeah, now I know my song, and it is actually a good song, so I consider myself lucky that it wasn't a bad song. Like, I've heard some pretty bad ones. I guess back at you, it's like, what song would you not want the song, like your pledge hazing song to be? It's like, there's a lot of bad songs that you could just...
I remember, you reminded me of a story. There was a school that was having a problem with tardiness to classes, and they would... after the bell rang, they would start blasting, I think, Baby by Justin Bieber. And the rate of tardiness dropped by like 80% or something like that within a week.
That's awesome. Just like fill the
Music
hallways
moves
with...
mountains.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great story too. Nice.
What's your favorite G-rated curse word, lest you find yourself around your grandmother and need to let something out when you stub your toe?
I say frick a lot.
Yes.
And I say frick. I also say diem, which is like a version of damn, but my that one comes from my mom. She always, like, whenever she's mad, she tries to not curse, so she always go, "Oh, damn." I don't know if it's like a... It
sounds like you're saying DM, but with like...
Yeah. I don't know, but I think it's funny, so sometimes I mix it in. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's the proudest accomplishment that you have that the fewest people know of?
Ooh. The proudest accomplishment that I have that few people know of. I'll come back to that one. I'll have to think on that one.
All right. So, what's the silliest thing that you believed as a child that you now look back on and just giggle?
Okay, so I'm exposing myself here, but as a child,
there are children around. Please don't.
as a child, many of us do wonder about the miracle of childbirth, of course. And my mom was not one who wanted to really talk about it, and my dad often was traveling for business, so. Often those conversations would come to my mom, and she would kind of just roll with whatever I said. So I would just say something like, "Oh, Mom, does this happen? Like, do people hug to have babies?" And then she'd be like, "Yeah, that's right." So the worst one is my middle school actually, for whatever reason, thought they should teach sex ed in like second grade. So we go to sex ed, and they're teaching us about how people have sex, and then how a baby is conceived, and I just raise my hand and I go like, that's not true. I know, like I talked to my mom, like what your God blesses you with a baby and then it comes out of your knee. Like what is this about a vagina?
Wow.
so
out of your knee.
That's where I thought, and my mom did not correct me, and so and I think I came home that day and I was like pouting, and my mom.
And you're like, damn, mom.
Damn, mom. Exactly. I was
what
like,
the frick?
Damn, what the frick? They're lying at school, is what I told her. I said they lied to us.
Oh, I love that you trusted her still after that. That's amazing.
And she went with it again. She wasn't like
double down. She said.
Yeah.
Knee babies. Holy shit.
Yeah.
What would you say is your biggest everyday temptation?
It's definitely snacking related. And I think if I were to specifically say it, what I've realized is those large bags, yes, they're a good value, but I also just don't have any perception of a serving size. I think a lot of people relate to this issue, right?
Same.
Like this is a relatable thing. You see a box, you get a bag, and that you look on the back, one serving, which is like 200 calories, is like 5 chips, and the bag has 200 chips. Well, for me, it's like half a bag is a serving size for those giant bags. So that is definitely my biggest temptation when it comes to snacking. I just I don't even buy big boxes anymore. I take the hit on value and buy the small like single serve packages because
I totally am the same, but I think I've come away around to trick my value-centric magic framed brain, as I'm sure yours is now accustomed, and look at it as value, like you look at it as caloric ingestion value.
That's true. That's good value.
That's where we're getting the value back, is we're not like eating an extra 100 to 200 calories that we didn't need and wouldn't have if they had just like, sealed them for us.
Right. And since you brought up Magic, I will say like, yeah, Magic is also a temptation. Like I'm always going to play, but I didn't want to admit that in case like my girlfriend listens to this or something. She'll be like, yeah, I fucking told you it is. Excuse my language.
You're good.
I frickin' told you it is.
I frickin' told you.
I'll be like, damn. She listened to the podcast.
Well, speaking of listening, what's your favorite non-musical sound?
My favorite non-musical sound. I really like. This is too serious of an answer, but I really like a lot of those. It's not just one sound, but any of those sounds that people play for mindfulness. Like when you're trying to sleep, like those, that basically like what's it called, white noise, right? I really like that. But if I had to pick one specifically, my teachers used to always have. My middle school was like kind of doing hipster stuff. You're starting to see a pattern, but like they would always use those sound bowls where you like hit it and then play it. I really like. I guess that's kind of musical, but not exactly, right?
No.
It's not an instrument.
By no means, yeah. No, I love that one. Given the opportunity, what's your favorite story to tell?
Ooh. Well, recently I feel like I actually have told the babies come from the knee story a lot.
It's a banger.
It is a banger. It is a banger. I'll think about any others, so we can maybe revisit that one. But that's definitely one of the top ones.
If not, leaving it with the knee.
Yeah, leaving it with the knee is not a bad
we're just
way
kneeling it out.
Yeah.
What decision in your life are you the most proud of making?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think for me, the decision I'm most proud of making is one I made 2-3 years ago. I basically, growing up, super picky eater, and it varied, but mostly I would constrain myself to like chicken, turkey, very few vegetables, lots of carbs, lots of pasta, all that stuff. And for whatever reason, 2-3 years ago, I just decided to start trying stuff. And it's kind of not just been for like food, it's kind of been everything. I just try not to say no to anything for the most part.
You just watched that Jim Carrey movie and you're like, you know what? Me too.
I haven't seen that Jim Carrey movie. What movie is it?
I think it's literally called Yes or Yes Man.
Okay.
And he's like at like a thing. It's got like some kind of woo woo element to it, like he gets hit weird or something, but then he says yes to everything for like the rest of the movie. But this is actually, the idea of this is spurned from kind of what you did and what this other guy did. There's a guy who wrote a book about his experience doing this, and he decided one day, I think after he broke up or something, I don't know the backstory, but literally said, he goes, I'm gonna say yes to everything, and like set a small bar to, like not doing illegal shit or something like that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't do drugs,
yes,
kids.
Yeah. But he said yes to everything moving forward. Mm-hmm. And it changed his life and changed his outlook. And he wrote this book, which went on to be a bestseller and got turned into a movie with Jim Carrey. And they zhuzhed it up and went a little nuts with it. But that was the idea.
Yeah, and I it's gone beyond food for me. I have been similar where I just really try to, I don't say yes to literally everything, but I've really tried to push my boundaries and say yes to more things, because my experience has been that goes well for you about 70-80% of the time. You won't regret saying yes. Like, I'm not going to say 100% of the time. Obviously, sometimes you're going to regret it, but life surprises you, and we're young and dumb, having fun. So that's like the censored version of that saying. I don't know. But yeah, young, dumb, having fun, and we're just say yes to stuff. So what was the thing that you were the most like hesitant to say yes towards, that you regretted the least, that like the outcome was just awesome? That's interesting. That's a good question. I think one thing that I was really hesitant to do was study abroad internationally, because it's a pretty intimidating thing, and I got a lot of inspiration from my brother, who he's lived in Beijing, Shanghai, right now he's in Abu Dhabi for school. He's still in college. Damn. He lived in Korea for a year during COVID. Whoa. He just like really loves to travel, and so he's my younger brother, so I was like, of course, if he can do it, I've got to do it. But I was very nervous. I went to the Netherlands, so it was nice. Still, they spoke English, which was really nice.
They do quite well.
But it was an awesome experience. Like, I highly recommend, if you are at that point in your life where you're like deciding if you can take an opportunity to either for school or for a job, like go to a different country, like you should take it. Like, even now I'm thinking, if there's an opportunity for me to go work in a different country, it doesn't have to be the Netherlands again, like I would totally take that. But at the time it was a scary decision.
Gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah, and I don't regret it at all. The opposite of regret. I regret leaving. Yeah.
What's the best or most memorable piece of advice you've ever received?
You get more flies with honey than vinegar. I always find, people they can pretty quickly get bitter and negative about things. Yeah. But I find that through, being nice and friendly and positive, you're going to end up getting more flies, or more, I guess that the saying translates to more success.
Yeah.
More and
friends.
People, more friends, more friends, exactly. So I really try to stay very positive, and I live by that saying a lot, and that's a good one.
Well, conveniently and inconveniently, as this helps transition me to my next question, fun fact, that's not actually true in real life. Flies actually prefer vinegar to honey. So,
what?
However,
no.
Yeah.
Cut this out.
That being said, that idiom is very true, that being positive, being warm is much more endearing than it is, to be the person that remembers as that asshole.
How do you know that?
Well, this kind of transitions to the next bit, where somebody may or may not have answered this on or off the podcast. what myth is your favorite, or the one you find yourself most commonly dispelling?
What myth is my favorite?
To specifically inform people that it is incorrect. That is, in
Yeah.
fact, rather a myth.
Right. This is kind of a weak one, but I have found myself in a lot of debates about this recently. I grew up in San Francisco, and people used to be like, "Oh wow, I really want to live in San Francisco." But now whenever I mention San Francisco, people are always like, "Oh wow, like that city has gone to crap."
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I feel bad. And as someone who lives in San Francisco and I still spend a lot of time there, it has not. Don't worry. I mean, there are some bad parts
great.
about it,
Yeah.
but it's still an amazing city. Hopefully there are solutions. They're not easy solutions, but hopefully progress is made on, the homelessness problem, which is really always sad and tough to see, and the very high prices that are driven up. But I do always find myself fighting with people about San Francisco. I'm not sure if that's not really exactly what the intent of the question was,
close
but
enough.
It came to mind.
I love it. Yeah, no, it's always good to hear. As a fellow native-born Bay Arian. I don't know.
Awesome! I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was born in El Cerrito, so just across the bridge. Speaking of just crossing a bridge, what's your favorite drive time jam?
Drive time jam.
You said you had the voice of a karaoke angel.
Yeah, well, if I'm singing karaoke, one of my favorite karaoke songs is "Good for You," Olivia Rodrigo.
Nice.
Also a big Taylor Swift fan. When I was in high school, I asked my friend to prom. We were just going as friends, like we were just good friends.
Yeah.
But I did tell her, I was like, I'll give you a big, elegant prom ask. And so in front of an entire school, I went up and karaoke'd "Love Story" by Taylor Swift, which actually is like not a very good just friends
song. It's a long one though, right?
When you think about it. It's a long song. Yeah,
like
it's a long
props.
song. And I thought I was so good when I watched the video of it. And this is why I say the voice of an angel, and it's questionable, debatable. But yeah, so "Love Story," Taylor Swift, like Olivia Rodrigo. Sometimes I like to mix in. I like "Don't You Worry, Child" by Swedish House Mafia. I really like a lot of EDM songs, but you don't really sing along to those as much as just
you just have to dance up there,
just kind of jam to them. Jam to them. Yep.
What's your favorite book, comic book, cartoon that you think would either make the best or worst big screen adaptation?
Favorite comic book, cartoon that would make the best, or book?
Yep.
It's a good question.
Yay!
I really like, there's a sci-fi book that I really like called Steelheart. It's by Brandon Sanderson, who a magic fan himself. Yeah. But I really like his books, and I would love to see a movie on that. So that's my own selfish answer, because his description and his scenery and imagery I feel like is really good, and I just think that a movie on that would be sweet.
That'd be dope. None of his books have been adapted yet, right?
Not that I know of, but that's actually really.
He finished A Wheel of Time for.
He finished Robert, The Wheel of Time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really surprising to say, but you're right. Maybe I think you might be right.
Yeah, because I mean, he is a crusher though. He's been putting out bangers for a minute now, and a lot of them at that.
No, seriously. So he deserves one at this point.
Well, while we're on the land of fantasy and fiction, what's your last or most memorable dream you've had?
My last or most memorable dream. Well, I've had two dreams recently, and they're one. I don't know if Theo told you on his podcast episode, but we adopted a cat. It's his cat. Uh, but as long as I live in an apartment with Theo, it's my cut as well. I love that little guy. He's sleeping on my bed right now, right by my desk, and he's just
No.
so cute. Um, but he keeps trying to run out the front door. He doesn't like it when we leave. So whenever you
Hmm.
open the door, he like sprints and then gets right to the door, and you have to try to block him out. So I have dreams of him escaping and us like searching through the streets of Chicago, looking for him, and it's like really weird because in your dreams, random stuff is happening. So parts of Chicago are like not at all Chicago. Like we end up in I think I ended up in in like Vegas, which might have been because I was just in Vegas for the Magic tournament. And then the other just started
Hello.
a new job, and the job is brand management, which is I manage a brand basically and try
Okay.
to help it grow and be better. And my brand is Andy Caps, which is they're like a chip shaped like a French fry. And I have dreams now that like our competitors are having promotions and selling better than us. And
No.
it's like, is this really what I'm dreaming about now?
It's
My
so rough.
dreams, yeah, so I have some fun dreams still, but some of my dreams are like really adulty, and it's kind of scary because
Adult dreams,
I'm like,
boo.
yeah, it's like, I'm too young to have these dreams. Like, no, they had a pricing promotion. Are you kidding me? No. And I'm like,
Well,
but it's like serious panic.
yeah, I'll bet cold sweats for sure. Well, speaking of French fries, I believe I heard mentioned. What's your
Yeah,
favorite meal to make just for yourself?
to make just for myself.
You, yourself, and I got infinite
Me,
time, infinite
myself,
money.
and I. Infinite time, infinite money. I'm not the biggest chef. Um, so I keep it simple. And a timeless classic that I always go back to is just, some Kraft mac and cheese.
Damn straight.
But during COVID, I, felt a little bit adventurous and I started to explore, and there's some nice enhancements you can make to mac and cheese. So I like to maybe add like some sausage or some type of meat. Pulled pork on top is really good.
Okay.
Um, and you can also I like crumbling up Ritz crackers, like Cracker Mac. It's
Ooh.
really good. Ritz crackers are actually a huge life hack for your Kraft mac and cheese.
Okay.
Huge upgrade. Definitely
Well,
do that.
carb on carb action. I'm here for
Yeah, and
it.
then you can put some sauce on there, like barbecue sauce or something with the
Mm,
meat, especially. So like the ideal Kraft mac and cheese. Now you still have to use Kraft mac and cheese as the base.
of
Like
course.
none of that fancy cheese or any, just Kraft mac and cheese. But then you
Velveeta can
get
sit down.
yeah, exactly. But then you get like, maybe some pulled pork, some crackers mixed in there, and the nice barbecue sauce on top. That's a good ass meal, and it's not that hard. I mean, when I say pulled pork, I'm not, like pulling my own pork. I'm like buying I'm buying a pack of it that's, ready, like frozen pulled pork or something, which is not the best quality, but it's like I'm not a huge chef, so I could definitely not
Love that.
prepare pulled pork from scratch or anything.
All right. Well, as we are on the topic of food, fuck, Mary, kill, fork, knife, and spoon.
Um, so I'm just trying to think conceptually how this even works. Like, I think marry the fork because the fork is the most versatile. Like, it's gonna be a really good partner in the relationship. It's gonna be able to like serve me well, and of course, I'll I don't know how you treat a fork well, but I'll like, I'll
I'll
treat it
clean
with
it
I'll
gingerly.
clean it
I'll
gingerly and
clean
treat it
between
with
the
respect for
tines.
exactly, exactly. Like but I guess it comes down to fuck a knife or a spoon. I mean, when you say it that way, I think it seems obvious you need to fuck the spoon. Like the knife is gonna be really painful.
It's a
One
bad
way
lover.
one way or another, very very bad lover. So yeah, definitely kill the knife and fuck the spoon.
All right. Well, lastly, before we throw it to a commercial break, kind of alluding back to your selection from earlier, if you could have the listeners of this podcast hear one song of your choosing, which would it be?
One song of my choosing. Well, this is, Taylor Swift. That's too mainstream. One song that I personally, okay, this is also so mainstream, but to me, I had never heard it before. I guess it's Chili Peppers. I really like Can't Stop by the Chili Peppers.
Banger.
I don't know, it's just a banger. You should listen to it. Hopefully the listeners of this podcast are like on the younger side.
They're like, what is this chili pepper you speak of?
Yeah, what is this chili pepper? A lot of my other songs. Oh, another song that I think. Okay, here's a better one. This is maybe a little bit more. Well, actually, I think for older people, they know this one for sure also. But Infinity 2008, which is a song like, this is my key philosophy. A freak like me just needs infinity. And then it's like a EDM vibe song. It's like, I think it's a great hype song. Like if you need something that's like to center yourself and get pumped up, that song is great. Infinity 2008, and it's like Dash Kloss vocal edit. It's by the Guru Josh Project and Kloss. So definitely listen to that song. Gets you hyped. That's my magic, like winning in for top 8. I'm listening to that song 10 out of 10 times. Full blast.
All right. And with that, we're going to throw it to our first break. Feel free to stick around and enjoy this totally real commercial, or take a minute to enjoy either Can't Stop by Red Hot Chili Peppers or Infinity 2008 by Guru Josh Project and Kloss. Or if you really wanted to hear a song from a previous episode, please check out the playlist on Spotify, Passionate People and Preposterous Pete Podcast, Song Rex. It's a long title, I know. Don't worry, there's a link in the description. Either way, see you in a bit. Do you need 100 pounds of butter? Come on down to Company Street Company.
What if I need 30 gallons of olive oil?
Come on down to Company Street Company. But what if I just want one flatless bird roasted for a reasonable price? Come on down to Company Street Company.
Okay, but...
Just come on down to Company Street Company. We have everything for a better price. Free snacks, and employees who don't want to kill themselves, or you, because we treat them like fucking human beings. Yeah, but, yup.
Even...
Just get your ass down to Company Street Company, where the only sketchy thing we've ever done is enable frozen orange juice hoarders. Welcome back, everybody. So, got Max here, and gotta know, Max, what's your passion?
So my passion that I am bringing before you guys today is not just a passion of my own, but it needs to become your passion. It's a plea for help, or not a plea for help, an ask for your support, I guess. So let me pitch it to you. You're in Hawaii, and you go to this restaurant, Cheeseburger in Paradise. Similar to the Jimmy Buffett song. I think actually inspired by the Jimmy Buffett song, now that I think about it. But regardless, you go to this restaurant, and of course, what do you get? The cheeseburgers. And what do the cheeseburgers come with? A side of fries. So that your plate comes out, ooh, these look like the best cheeseburgers ever, and you bite into them. A delicious cheeseburger, definitely worthy of the name Cheeseburger in Paradise. Then what do? You go to fry, dip it in the ketchup, eat it. Wow, a delicious fry. Then you get another fry, a delicious fry. You keep eating the fries, forgetting completely about the cheeseburger. Is this a problem that you've had? I'm sure it is. Fries are commonly the best part of the meal. So, what did me and my best friend in high school do? We started our own French fry business. So my passion is French fries. And we called ourselves...
And all I'm looking for today, Sharks, is 10% of the company for $10 million.
Now, look, that valuation's a little bit low, but eventually, yes. Eventually, yes.
Eventually, when we hit a rough patch, that'll be accurate.
Yes, yes. And so the Fry Guys started out as something fun. Our goal was basically just like push the limits of French fries, because we felt truly, that pitch was a bit dramatic, but truly whenever you go like fries are often the most reliably consistent, delicious part of a meal. What's not to love? Just a grease and potato. But yeah, we started a French fry business where we would go to events and serve French fries. It started out very casual, serving our friends. They all loved our fries, so then we actually started trying to pitch it to events in the city, and people liked the idea. They liked the idea. They all liked French fries. We let them try our fries. They liked our fries. And what we would do is we'd have a couple different bases, usually the classics, regular fries, waffle fries, curly fries, uh, sweet potato fries, of course. And we'd have all those types of fries, and then we have toppings. So the idea was you could make your fries not just a snack, but a full meal. They're a great base. They support a lot of stuff. We'd have classic fry toppings like garlic fries, truffle fries, but then we'd also have more satiating fries. We'd have taco fries. We had a chicken and bacon fry, steak fries, and we even had dessert fries, which were damn good. We
Nice.
put Nutella, dark chocolate shavings, Heath bar, some sweet salt. Those were really good as well. So it was a success, and we did this business for about a year and a half before we went off to college, and we served over 1,000 people for sure. We didn't have an exact count, but I just know the size of each event we did because we'd always have to quote people like how many people will we serve.
Yeah.
And then we had some events where it was just like open, we weren't contracted, but we just would sell, and we'd sell, 200
Damn.
dishes or something in a day. It was
That's a
super
lot.
fun. I think by the end of it, we had to invest a lot of money into the whole stuff, but I think we came out ahead, which is
Sick.
a win.
Yeah.
It's like a high school business, of course. But I will say, I really wanted to bring it to college, and I brought it to our school. Like a lot of universities, they contract with a catering company to do dining halls and such. So I
Mhm.
set up a meeting with them. We met, and we were working out a plan for me to do fries once a week, using their facilities.
Yeah.
And COVID hit. So that was me when
Yeah. No.
So we were working out a deal. We were really close to it, and then it was my freshman year, spring semester. We all got sent home, and never really got to come back for the next like 2 years. Dining halls were closed. It was all takeout, so the vibe just wasn't there anymore
Yeah.
for fries. But I thought like Friday fries would have been so good. I mean, college students would go crazy for those French fries, especially when you're out like at the bars. You come back, you're looking for something,
Yeah.
great drunk food. So I think there's potential there, and I'm not saying the Fry Guys is dead forever. We can
Yeah.
definitely
There's a
come
there's a
back.
comeback tour. I smell it on the horizon.
Yeah.
When did you first fall in love with the French fry?
Well, going back to earlier in the podcast with how picky I was, one
Mm.
thing that I really loved about the French fry was that it was so reliably on every restaurant menu, and I could always order it. So while we were at like wherever we were, doesn't matter, we're at a sushi,
Yeah.
steakhouse, and my
Still got
family,
fries.
my family was, besides me, they're very much carnivores. They would love, steak, fish, all those different meats, and I wouldn't eat them. I would always order fries. So I fell in love with fries at a very young age because they were one of the few foods that I wasn't picky about.
Yeah, they were your blue blanket.
They
just,
were
like,
exactly
always there,
exactly.
always comfortable.
Yeah, so I would always fall back on fries, and they treated me so well that I just felt like they deserved more respect from everybody else.
So, what would your dream kind of rollout be if you could, if all the ducks line up, what are your hopes and dreams in regards to fries and fry guys?
I always saw the Fry Guys as I saw the best opportunity being something similar to Insomnia cookies. I don't know if I think they're
I am not aware of
Insomnia.
those.
Oh, you're not
no,
aware
no,
of
no.
them.
Yeah. Never mind. It's they've got like two faces in black and white on them, right? It's the I'm pretty sure.
I think
Hold on.
it's like a yeah, maybe look it up. But I don't know what the two faces is. But insomnia cookies
I'm thinking of something else.
for the uninitiated are they basically every college has an insomnia within 100 yards or something, because that's their whole thing is they are like the perfect late night snack and they stay open extra late. So in my particular college town, I went to school in St. Louis, Washington University in St. Louis, and every restaurant was closed by 9 or 10. There was like no late night food besides insomnia cookies. And so people would
Genius.
always go. So I see that as a similar space as where like the Fry Guys could be, where it's a perfect late night uh heavy meal or heavy snack, I guess you could say. It's just that space in between snack and meal. And so we'd have hours that were kind of on the later side, maybe open from 7 to 2 a.m., something like
Love
that.
it. Yeah.
And just really make sure that no college student goes hungry when they get back from the bars, and try to really target those areas first. And then, maybe expand from there. But that's kind of where I saw our fries being the most, they're very indulgent. They were very indulgent and delicious.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think
Live
that would
it
be
up.
the ideal rollout. As soon as I get Mark Cuban to commit
Yeah.
to partnering with me.
You hear that, Mark? Holla at your boy.
Let's
All
talk.
right.
Let's talk.
Run me through a day in the life of a fry guy. When you're working a big event, or
Mhm.
yeah, like one of your bigger events. How did that kind of roll out?
Yeah, so making a fry is not easy, actually. And this is, if we're talking about dispelling myths, a myth that you might not even know you have is people think, a fry is easy. You just cut the potato, put it in the oil, and boom, you've got a fry. That's wrong. That's how you make a bad fry, and we don't stand for bad fries.
Darren
Well,
Tootin.
yeah, when you make a fry, it's important that you do a couple things. One, you want to soak the fry. It helps remove some of the starch, so that the fry doesn't taste as starchy. I'm sure you've had some fries that are kind of starchy. That's probably why. They probably don't soak them. And we would soak our fries. We'd cut them early in the morning if usually the events were afternoon or evening. So
Yeah.
we'd cut them in the morning and soak them for at least a couple hours.
Damn.
And
Okay.
when you take them out of the bucket, you pour out that water. It's like a starchy, very white looking water. So you could really see the effect of soaking them, taking all that starch out. The next thing is you need to par fry your fries. So we would have to get to the event early and set up. And what we had a truck that we kept all our stuff in, just like a pickup truck, not like
Yeah.
a giant food truck. Unfortunately, the food truck was a vision, but we needed a little bit more capital for that. But
Damn you, COVID.
yeah, darn you. If I could have just taken all those college students' money, going back, you just sidetracked me.
You sounded like such a villain. If I could only taken all those kids' money.
Okay, but okay, so going back to the college thing, part of what was so sick about the deal I was gonna make was that our college had meal points, which I think a lot of
Yeah.
colleges do. So you
Yeah.
swipe to buy meals. People will swipe for anything because it's like that money is
It's
usually
funny
put
money,
in.
yeah.
It's funny money. It's fake money. It's monopoly money. It's Canadian dollars essentially. And so it's like, yeah, you have infinite money basically on your card, so we could just charge whatever we wanted and people would swipe for it. And so maybe that's like predatory pricing or something.
And then, Pinky, we take over the world.
And then then we buy a food truck, so it's all for a good cause.
Exactly. All right,
But-
so
but yeah, sorry.
we've gotten rid of the starch. No, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
We got rid of the starch. Now we're doing what fry?
Par fry. So this is where you cook the fries at a lower temperature in oil for a little bit, not super low, but maybe 50 degrees lower. I think it was something like we'd par fry around 300 and then actually fry around 375, 400.
How long are we frying them for when we're par frying?
So the par fry is usually for we were par frying for about 2 minutes, I want to say.
Okay.
And
What does
yeah,
that do?
what that does is it starts to like seal, I guess, seal the fry so that the inside stays kind of soft, but it prepares you for then when you put them in at the higher temperature, you do it a lot quicker and you're kind of in and out. Maybe you're in there for like 45 seconds to a minute at the higher temperature, and that'll quickly crisp the outside while making sure that it's like cooked through to the middle, but it's softer inside. So you need to like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want a fry that's crispy on the outside but soft on the inside, that's why you gotta par fry. And I love In-N-Out, being from California, but one thing that they don't do is they don't par fry.
They also don't soak.
They also don't soak. They just, you can see them. They chop the
You've watched them do
potato,
it, yeah.
put it in, and their fries are a little bit, they're not the crispiest. So
Or they are the crispiest.
yeah, depending. Yeah, that happens too sometimes. Yeah, but their method for making their fries fresh, I think it's actually not the most
worst.
optimal method. Yeah, and so any of those like frozen fries, they've all been par fried. So that's
Points
kind of
towards
the hack.
Yeah. All right, so we've gotten up in the early mid morning, got to our thing, whacked up the fries. What's your preferred fry length, or like kind of fry dimension? How do you like them generally?
Yeah, so I think if you were to go on a scale from fast food fry, which are like the shoestring fries, up to steak fry, which is pretty thick, the optimal fry size is a little bit closer to steak fries.
So we're looking like crinkle cut? The ones that are like wavy?
Crinkle cut, those are a good dimension. I don't like the crinkle cut. I don't have a specific reason why I don't like it. I just feel like they mess
optics,
with
man.
They mess with the eating experience because like you can catch a weird like wave in the crinkle or something, and it just is. They don't crunch as well or as consistently. When you have a normal fry, you know exactly when you're biting down, like what to expect. You get that crispy outside, warm inside crinkle. You might get like, there's not enough inside, I think, on the crinkle cuts, but they're just about the right width. And so one place that does them really well is the Netherlands. They actually have really good fries in the Netherlands, and that they're you need to have enough width to have that soft inside. That's really the payoff. So that's what we did, and we would hand cut our own fries. I think that's the first step, I guess. So we had a cutter, and we had a table, and we just go potato cut is like an assembly line.
Nice.
Then you soak them, then you par fry them. Then we'd have them already on racks, par fried, ready to go in, ready to order or cook to order.
Sick.
So yeah, we'd be there early at the event. Then one thing you don't necessarily appreciate until you've been in food business before is the surge. And the surge is when all the people decide that they're ready to eat.
It's fry time.
It's pretty predictable. You'll usually know either there's an event going on and everyone like they open up the food area at one time and they'll warn you ahead of time. But that's like the crazy time. And our first event that we did, it was a huge event. There was like over 1,000 people. But we weren't the only food truck. There was a couple others. And we only had one fryer because we wanted to see how this went before we invested too much. And the fryers were like $500 each, so they were pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But they were good fryers. They're like not, we weren't messing around. But the surge came, and I was so far behind. I was saying frickin' DM, all over the place. It was bad. And so we immediately bought a second fryer after that event with the money that we earned from that event. But yeah, being ready for the surge is like the stressful point of the day because everyone's going to come and you want to get through that line fast. And fries do not last very well, so you can't really prepare them ahead of time and like keep them warm somehow. They really need to be prepared. Ready to go and consumed immediately. Yeah, consumed immediately. So that was really tough for us. And you can't put like toppings on them until like right before they're gonna get consumed because they'll get soggy. Just
Yeah.
a lot of pressure to be quick in assembly and quick in frying. But the par frying did help because then the actual frying time is less. You only need to fry for another 45 seconds to a minute to get that final fry crispy coat on. But so yeah, we'd be in there ready for the surge. Surge comes. We're freaking out trying to get through that event, and then it kind of lulls out after that and gets very relaxed. People come and go, try some fries. We'd always be like curious on people's ideas because everyone really liked, oh, these are such creative, different French fry ideas. But everyone would always come with their own idea, like, oh, you should do like, I don't know, zucchini avocado fries or something like that. Everyone wanted us to make healthy fries. I was like, you do realize we're dunking these in oil, right?
Thank you for not subsiding to that. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is when people try to take something that is just the right level of grimy and fix it up. Like when people try to take curse words out of rock and roll or the sex and drugs out of rock and roll, it's like, but that's why it's there. That's part of what makes it great.
Yeah.
Part of something that makes fries great is the potato and the fat.
Yeah.
And it's fried. Like that's what makes it great. Don't try to like fix it. It's perfect.
No, I'm with you. And like we didn't want to compromise and use like healthy lean oil. We wanted to use, the best, most fatty, delicious oil and stuff. So
fat's fantastic. Get used to it.
Yeah, get used to it. It tastes freaking good. So we would never give in to those people, but people also came with other fun ideas, and sometimes we would mess around with it. I'm trying to remember what some of the ideas were. I think maybe initially we didn't have the steak, or not the steak, the chicken and bacon fries, but someone came with that idea, and it was
some
really
Californian
good.
was like chicken bacon ranch on something, and you're like,
chicken bacon
fries.
ranch.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Chicken bacon ranch, and
and the rest was history.
Yeah, we were just like in Subway every week stealing one of their sandwiches for it to be a new menu item. Yeah, bacon, lettuce, tomato, and fries.
Nailed it.
How creative.
Do you have a favorite non-obvious aspect to making fries in the fry biz?
Favorite non-obvious aspect?
Something from the somebody from the outside would just never know about that you were just like, this was so cool or so interesting or so much fun.
Oh, cutting the potatoes was pretty fun. I feel like that's like if you use a knife, it's really boring and repetitive. But once you get one of the fry cutters, it's very fun because it's like a lever that you pull. Except we because we're an on-the-go business, we couldn't really do it in the most optimal way, which is like mounting it so that the fry falls down into a bowl below. So we were making the fries and pulling them, and they'd come out like towards us.
Okay, I think I see what you're talking about.
It was mounted on a table, right? So
yeah,
the table's
yeah.
flat
It
and
has
the
like
fry...
it has like a lever and it puts it through like a sieve almost.
Yeah, but it was really fun because our setup was pretty jank, and when you're trying to pull the potato, like the potato fought back, it didn't cut very easily a lot of the time, and so the table would start to lift up. So it was really fun, like trying to pump out those fries, and it'd usually be like a 2-3 person job. One person's pulling, one person's like holding the table down, one person is scooping the fries into a bucket and then getting ready to soak them. So that was super fun.
The more jank, the joy.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so to close out this bit, I'm curious, what like known restaurants or fast food restaurants has the best fry and which one has the worst fry in your estimation?
Yeah, so the best fry, you'll have to travel a long way, but like I said, I was super impressed by the fries in the Netherlands, and there's a place called Friets that I would go to. I mean, it's literally all they did was fries, so it makes sense that their fries were so good. But another thing is dip your fries in mayo. That's just, you can do that in the US too. The problem is the mayo in the US, it just depends on the mayo. It's like sometimes it's the cheap mayo, it isn't the same as like a nicer mayo that might be homemade. But yeah, fries and mayo go really well. But this place Frites was really good. There was a place recently that I went to that had really good fries. So give me a second to think on that in Chicago. Au Cheval. Au Cheval had really good fries.
With a name like that, they better.
Yeah, and they're known for their burger. They have a pretty famous burger, but they have really good fries too.
All right, now to throw somebody under the bus. Who's
throwing
Garbo?
someone under the bus. I'm throwing
Do it.
In-N-Out.
Say it. There you
In-N-Out,
go.
Yeah.
Get it out of here.
I hope big In-N-Out doesn't come for me, but yeah.
No,
In-N-Out,
Big Eye needs to learn their lesson. They gotta do the pre-soak. They gotta do the early fry. Then they gotta put some goddamn salt on it.
Yeah.
Don't make me put salt on my own fucking fries. It's outlandish.
I love how passionate you are about this. I'm passionate.
It's my preposterous peeve.
And I love In-N-Out, their burgers. I'm a big In-N-Out fan. Personally, you can say whatever you say. I think part of it, you always have to consider though that In-N-Out, like, it's a great fast food burger, right? Let's contextualize it. It's
for its speed and its cost. I will concede
exactly,
it is quite good.
Exactly. So it's not the best burger you've ever had, but it's a great fast food burger. But their fries are really lacking. They think they're doing something with the whole fresh. We cut it right in front of you. Yeah. No, just follow the process. Don't reinvent the wheel. In-N-Out. You're a fast food restaurant, not fucking Gordon Ramsay's kitchen. So let's just follow the process. Make some good crispy fries. Yep.
All right. To transition from the lovely to the lackluster, Max, what is your preposterous peeve?
So I had trouble with this one, and I said yes to coming on the podcast, and then I learned what the name was, and then I kind of panicked because I was like, I don't really have a lot of pet peeves, but my current peeve that has really been driving me crazy is this. I feel self-conscious saying this because it sounds like I'm an asshole, but
be an asshole. Do it.
So restaurants during COVID, of course, had a tough time, and I was like fully supportive of that. I would try to order takeout from a lot of my favorite restaurants, support them however I could. I'd leave a tip on takeout, which is traditionally not the standard, but I would really try to support them. And they had reduced capacity or no capacity depending on restrictions, so they had to raise prices, which made sense. Now since then, things have gone back to relatively normal, and restaurants, I think that a lot of them got kind of greedy and just decided not to lower prices, even though they still have full capacity. But the one thing, and that's fine, that's fine. Like you go out for a meal, you know what you're getting. The one thing that drives me crazy these days is a lot of restaurants figured out that they can just put an asterisk in small print at the bottom in lieu of increasing menu prices. We've added a 3% surcharge to your meal. And think about that for a second. They're saying instead of increasing menu prices, we're adding a 3% surcharge. That's the same thing as increasing menu prices, and they're sneaking it on there on the very bottom in asterisk so that you don't see it.
Like they have to.
They're like trying to.
Sorry, we
increase the menu price. I would still
like
if you increased the menu price 3%, I wouldn't even notice it, right? But they sneak this on there, and then they always say, you can ask to have this removed, but of course it's very faux pas. You wouldn't want to ask to do that. Well, I went to one restaurant, and this is where I feel like kind of guilty because it sounds like I'm an asshole, but it was deserved. Okay, so it was a I won't name the restaurant, but it was an Indian restaurant, and they had it's kind of standard that if you order like a curry, it'll probably come with rice, right? Yep. And but that you had to pay for rice. So it was $5 for a little small bowl of rice. The curry came out. It was very small and very expensive. Everything was just very overpriced, with the restaurant kind of getting greedy with their prices. Like, this definitely is not this expensive. Yeah. And so all my friends, like, it was a huge group of us, we were just kind of annoyed, and the service wasn't that nice to us either. They were just kind of snappy. So come the end of the meal, it's not like we're not gonna tip. Of course, I still would tip, but to come to the end of the meal, I go up and I say, oh yeah, like there's that 3%. You said that's optional. Can you take that off? And I felt so guilty saying it, but I did it and I felt good about it after. But then the waiter was like, oh yeah, that 3%, that's for our health insurance. Like, do you want to take that off?
Fuck off.
I was like, are you kidding me? And then
can I take off more percent, please? Then, like, fuck you.
I was so annoyed because obviously I'm gonna feel guilty, but it's like that's definitely a lie. It doesn't say anything about that
No.
on there, and even if it is, it's like that's not our responsibility.
Sure,
That should be like
that's
the
like
restaurant.
one step away from being like, this is how we feed our children is with this 3%. Like, shut up. That's such horseshit.
Right. So what I really dislike about it is that they're just like being sneaky about it, because I think most people don't even know about this.
Be forthcoming. Also, the, like, you can take it off is so shady.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you know, if you want to, you can take it off. It's like, then I have to be the asshole. Just make it part of it. Like, you make your own prices. There's not corporate for most of these places that's being like, oh, there has to be this price. Just reset the price. Print out some new menus.
Exactly.
Shell out $5 for paper. Print some new menus and move on. What the shit?
Exactly. Yeah, I just don't like that they're trying to like sneak it past people.
I know, that's shady as hell.
And when you look at the receipt, it's like you can't even really see where that fee comes through a lot of the time, because most of the time I always look for it.
It's invisible ink microprint, just like
yeah, exactly. I can't help myself. I always look for it, but most of the time, as long as I felt like it was a good meal and I enjoyed myself, I don't say anything. But when you look at the receipt afterwards, it's like I don't even know where it is. It's totally, they're trying to sneak one by you. But yeah, that's my peeve. I'm not a very peeved person normally. I'm pretty easygoing and hard to annoy. I think that other people's peeve with me is that I am so easygoing.
Except when it comes to that gall darn frickin' DM 3%.
My friends were all so surprised how annoyed I was, because like I've never seen Max this worked up about something, and I was like, they're trying to pull a fast one on us, and then they're guilting me saying it's their health insurance, which is like almost certainly a lie.
That is definitely a lie. All right,
I just couldn't believe it.
While Max and I both just take a deep breath, we're gonna head to our second ad break, but don't go anywhere, because when we get back, Max is gonna enter the lightning round. This podcast is sponsored by Rational Puppets. One of the easiest things you can do with your hands and a light source in a dark room. Over human history, millions of people have used Rational Puppets to great enjoyment. With limitless possibility and no upfront costs, Rational Puppets will have your hands busy forever. Or until the power comes back on. So what are you waiting for? The power to go out? Oh yeah, right. Okay. Well, but when it does, we'll see you and your Rational Puppets on the wall. And we're back. Max, are you ready to enter lightning round?
The lightning round?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Let's do it.
All right, buckle your seatbelts and keep your arms inside the ride at all times. Max, is there a price for you to give up your passion forever?
No.
Okay. Make the food or do the dishes?
Do the dishes.
Did you ever cheat on a test in school?
Yes.
You're having the best day of your life. What happens next? Another amazing thing or something terrible?
Something terrible. Never lucky.
Is professional wrestling cool or lame?
Lame.
Do you create your own thoughts or do you just listen to them?
I create my own thoughts.
Cheese fries, an abomination or gift from God?
Gift from God, but you can take them further. Add more.
Album, shuffle, or playlist?
Oh, I'm always shuffling playlist, never an album.
Is there such a thing as a perfect piece of art?
Yes.
Have you
There's
ever
I'm trying to think of what's the. I really like Monet.
have you ever had a crush on a cartoon character?
Yes. I think I had a crush on Tinkerbell. I'm gonna be honest.
Damn right you did.
Yeah.
Are you out of touch, or is it the children who are wrong?
It's the children who are wrong.
What is more important, freedom or structure?
Freedom.
Would you rather have tentacles for arms or kangaroo legs for legs?
Oh, kangaroo legs for legs. I mean, you just bounce around, be jacked. That's awesome.
Would you rather be a human in a world of Muppets or a Muppet in a world of humans?
A Muppet in a world of humans. Then I'd annoy other people instead of being annoyed by everybody.
Would you rather meet an alien or a ghost?
Alien.
Are hot dogs tacos?
What? Definitely not.
Would you, if you had the opportunity, would you go to a music festival on the moon?
Yes. And I feel like it'd be EDM, like space techno. Yeah, definitely.
Skydiving or deep sea diving?
I want to go skydiving. It's on my bucket list. Deep sea diving. Nervous about my ears. I don't know. I sound like such an adult. My
They have
ears might
earplugs, don't
hurt.
worry. Would you rather be stranded in the desert or at sea?
In the desert.
Subbed or dubbed?
Ooh. I like dubbed.
Would you take $100 million if it meant you would die in 30 days?
No.
Did Jesus have a temper?
He must have. I mean, yeah, you can't actually be that forgiving. No chance.
If you could see a highlight reel at the end of your life of all the times you've almost died, would you?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you like reading in the bathroom?
Yeah, on my phone, sure.
Could you eat
Screenager.
Screenager? Could you eat 37 of your favorite food for $5,000 in a 1 hour time limit?
Yes.
Well, congratulations! You've survived the lightning round! Wow!
Thank you. I feel like you got really annoyed when I said I liked dubbed.
No. It was...
I heard you pause. You were like, "Ooh, I'm."
No, I was looking at the next question.
Okay.
Well, before
Yeah.
we move on and I get sidetracked, I, like many listeners at home, would like to now know, though, what is your favorite food that you could eat 37 of in a 1 hour time limit for $5,000?
Well, the easy answer is French fries. I could eat 37 French fries.
That's a cheating answer.
That's a cheating answer. The food that I could definitely eat 37 of that is a little bit more wild is pizza. I feel like my stomach doubles whenever I eat pizza.
You could eat 37 slices?
Yeah, 37. Okay. Now that I'm in an hour, no, you're right. I definitely couldn't. Damn.
I like your optimism that you were
the confidence
like down.
was there. No, if they were like, okay, this is cheating again. If they're like square slices, the smaller.
I would take you up on that, and I respect it nonetheless.
37 square, like smaller slices.
Yeah. Still though, I think it's doable, but I respect it nonetheless. I'm here for it, buddy.
I think I could do it. I feel like
I
usually
believe in you.
I eat small portions normally, but when it comes to pizza, my stomach doubles. I can, especially meat lovers pizza. It's my go-to. Yeah.
Well, as you have slain the lightning round, survived its blast, you now too may add to the echelon. So I grant thee one question, my friend. What'll it be?
My question, sticking with fries, would you rather your fries always be double in price, a curse like none other, or would you rather your fries always come slightly cold and a little bit soggy?
Dude, you could triple the price. I'm not taking cold and soggy fries.
Yeah,
I need that shit
where I'm
hot,
at.
right and tight. Come on.
Oh yeah, that's where I'm at too.
It can't have this, none of these soggy little moppy boys. No. Like, I mean, like when I'm literally
No.
when I go to McDonald's, get a fry, as I am leaving the McDonald's drive-through or door, I am just from the bag to face. It doesn't
That's
make
right.
it home.
You have to.
You can't.
You have to.
I
Yeah.
don't care if I live a block away. It can't make it home. It's not going
No.
to be good anymore. You got to get them.
Yeah, as soon as they hand you the bag, the first thing I do is reach in the bag, then I pick up the bag, but I'm like already grabbing fries, making sure those are going nice and warm straight into me.
And then bringing his own mayo from home, so so it tastes just right.
My own homemade mayo aioli. No. Yeah.
All right, man. As we come to close here, anything you want to plug, shouts you'd like to give, places people can find you or your content?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at twinlesstwin. That's Magic related. We didn't talk much about Magic today, but that's mostly what I tweet about.
But you can hit him up on there and talk about it plenty.
But yeah, you could hit me up on there and talk about fries. That'd be awesome. That'd be a cool
Hell
change
yeah.
of pace. Or you can find me by your local college in about 10 years. You'll find the Fry Guys. You can check out our website, the Fry Guys. Now this if you're listening in 10 years. But otherwise, yeah, don't check this out yet. But yeah, that's it. Check me out there.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you, Max, for being my guest today. And special thanks to my editor, Richard Ashford, and my composer, Joshua Gibbons. And you. Yes, you listening at home, wherever you found time to appreciate this. Time is the most precious commodity we have, and I appreciate you spending yours with us. Or if you already have and are out of episodes to listen to, don't worry. We put out a new episode every Monday at midnight on SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes at Passionate People and Preposterous Peeves podcast. Very special thanks are due to our patrons, Sibel Yellow. If you'd like to join said illustrious ranks and have your name read aloud, just head on over to patreon.com/Passionate People and Preposterous Peeves podcast. And do remember, folks, if days are numbered and songs are sung, at the end of the day, I think we've all won. So please stick around, because great things have only just begun.